Welcome. This video tutorial will go over creating this Stanley Hotel project in Photoshop. This is a finished product, what your product will look like when you're turning it in. This is a hypothetical kind of like advertisement you're creating for this maybe hypothetical Stanley Hotel. And then you can see there we're going to be going over and talking about that. So let's go ahead and get started. So this is the fifth project in this grading cycle. So you're going to go back to the student share folder, click on this Stanley Hotel. This PowerPoint here that I already have open, you can double click that, and there's like I have all the other projects, so each slide goes over each different step. So you can do that if you feel. We're going to double click on this rolling hills and open that in Photoshop. So now we are going to go back to the student share and open up the Stanley image as well, and open that in Photoshop also. Okay, so you can see here for this advertisement we have this kind of unsightly buildings there that maybe they want to take out as maybe this client, they want advertisement design for them, but they don't want to see this unsightly construction and the buildings there. So we're going to start with we have this rolling hills just that we've grabbed here. So we're actually going to start with this, and we're going to go to channels, and we're going to just hold down the control key and select on this little preview image there. It's going to show up this this selection there. Okay, so I'm going to click the move tool. I'm going to resize this just a little bit so I can snap to that, and we're going to see our little cursor has a little cut symbol scissors underneath it, so I can click there, drag it over to my Stanley, and it will copy that image. So we can close this, we don't need it anymore. So now I'm going to it'll snap to the edge if I'm using the move tool, and I can just move that down right about there. Yeah, I still have a little bit of roof lines that I'm seeing here, but that looks good. We're going to make adjusting those things later. Okay, so now that we've done that, we're going to actually go back to layers here. We're going to make some image adjustments to our hills that we just put in there, because these images do not look like they belong. It definitely looks like there's two different images there, but we're going to make some small adjustments to that layer 1 so it looks like the two layers belong. So we're going to image adjustments. We're going to start with brightness contrast. Okay, so the brightness is going to be -30, and your contrast is going to be 30. So, okay, just making small adjustments. So the first one. The next one we're going to do is going to go to image adjustments as well, and hue saturation. Okay, and this is going to be hue is 5, saturation is 30, and the lightness will stay at 0. So we choose OK. Seeing there, it's just small adjustments is making those look like they do belong together. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to use the burn tool. Yours might have the dodge tool. So we're going to click and hold it down to select the burn tool. You're going to need a large brush. I recommend using about 600. Your range is midtones. Make that highlighted there. And then you have your exposure at 50%. What you want to do is we're just kind of going to quickly go over this the vision. There's a line here where the two images start meeting. And we would just want to burn in those trees there because it's looking a little bit light. So I'm just going to swipe over one time. So you can see there, I just kind of line them in quickly one time. And again, it's a small adjustment to make for blending these two images together. So now we have to take these unsightly roof lines out. So we're going to use the clone stamp tool. Okay, so I'm going to use a brush size of 100 and a hardness of 0. Okay, and the mode is we're going to make sure this is behind. Okay, it's set to behind. Opacity is 100%. Okay, everything else looks good. So we're going to take this out. You can hold down the Alt key to determine which area you want. So we're going to click maybe the top of these trees here. So we're just going to paint these in. Okay. So you can see there we've kind of taken out the roof line there. Maybe I want to use the top of these trees, over here, and say I want to like this to start. Well, I'm sorry, do that again. right here, and I want those to start right about here. So I can paint those in. Those are looking good. Okay. And now I'm going to grab maybe the bottom of these trees, so I can grab there, because these we're taking out this building here. Choose the Alt key and grab the bottom of those trees there. Choose the middle, and then we just paint these in right here. Okay, have those trees there. Okay, you see there? That's looking really nice there, because we don't have any buildings. You have taken out all the unsiloed buildings. Okay, using the clone stamp tool. Okay, so now we're going to go and select background, and we're going to choose image. We're going to put some level adjustments. So we're going to choose levels. These two numbers are fine, 0 and 1.0. Leave those the same. And this number is changed to 245. So you can see that again, just making small adjustments to make sure making these layers look like they belong together. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to do hue saturation adjustment to both of these layers. So background, we're going to image adjustments, hue saturation, and this middle number we're going to change to 40. Okay, 0, 40, and 0. So choose OK there. The lighten ups, it kind of makes those kind of like dirt color and the green from the trees really pop out and stand out. Okay, go back to layer 1 and do the same thing for that one as well. Adjustments and hue saturation. In the middle number, the saturation will change to 40. Okay, change that. Okay, so it's definitely looking like those two belong together now. So now we're going to create a new layer here. Choose a new layer and title this as moodiness. M-O-O-D. Moodiness. Okay. So now we're going to go to this gradient tool. Click on the gradient tool. We're going to make sure our foreground is set to black. And we want to click on this thing here, and we're going to grab the foreground to transparent. Okay, preset. Choose OK there. So now we're going to click on the sky in the sky area, and I'm going to hold down the Shift key and drag straight down. So I'm going to click about in here somewhere. Now I'm going to hold down the Shift key, and I'm going to drag straight down to the top of these mountains here. So you can see there it's kind of creating this kind of black, kind of transparent, not black gradient there. Okay. So the next thing I want to do is I'm going to go back to the blend mode, and I want to choose overlay. Okay. So it's overlaying to both those. It's kind of darkening these clouds a little bit there. So now we're going to choose the burn tool. So we're going to go back to the, select the background layer. Again, burn tool. So we want to darken in these clouds a little bit more, and as well, just a small adjustment. We're going to darken in just this, where the hotel is here. So we're going to click once to swipe there and just darken that in. You can see there, and just darken in there, one swipe. So now it looks very similar. It's like these two images kind of belong together. Okay. So now we're going to select layer 1 and background by using the Shift key, and I'm going to select the layer 1 as well. So I have both those selected. Right click, and we're going to convert these to a smart object. So I've kind of combined them together. Now they're a smart object. Okay. We're going to make sure this is titled as background. Okay. So next thing we're going to do is have a filter on it, on this background that we have selected there. Filter, sharpen, and we're going to click unsharpen mask. We're going to make the amount I've done this before. We're going to make sure this is set to 200. Okay. 200, 1.0, and 0. Okay. So that's good. It does a little bit of sharpening if you zoom in. Okay. So now we're going to go in and crop. We're going to use the crop tool. And we want to make sure, I've done this before, so you're going to make sure that this delete cropped pixels box is unchecked. It's not checked here. Okay? And you can use a rule of thirds, whatever you want to do. So you just drag this down a little bit. So we want to take it, we don't need the sky as much there. And we want to just bring this, have as much of the ground as much there. So we'll click that to make those changes there. So it's kind of dragged in. But the reason we uncheck the delete cropped pixels is because now we can actually take our picture and move it around inside of our cropped area. So if you want to see more of the sky there, then we can. If you want to scroll this up and I see more of the, the ground and the rolling hills there, then we can do that as well. But we actually going to kind of move this up to where we can see about this much, of the sky there. So that's looking good. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a text layer. So click on the T. Impact is the font you want, and this needs to be set at 220 point. Okay. The text color is black, so I choose the black here, and we are just going to click in here, just anywhere, and we're going to choose the hold down, click on the caps lock to make this all capitals. Okay, and click enter. So we met those there. They're going to click the move tool. Just make sure that's centered there. Okay. So we just want the bottom of the shine to be on the top of this roof line, where the roof starts on these buildings. Okay. So that's been good. So now we want to actually double click into the just empty area right next to shine. It's going to bring up the layer styles, and we want to put an outer glow on this. Okay. The opacity needs to be set to 100, and the size needs to be set to 100 as well. So we'll click OK. Okay. And so it's put this hour glow. And next thing we want to do is we want to choose, make another layer, another text layer. So I've unclicked that so I can make a new layer. Click the text tool. This one we want to choose is just 14 points. Okay, it's still impact. We want to change the color to a white. Okay, there. And I'm just clicking down here a little bit low. Because if I click here, it's going to actually think that I'm trying to modify the shine. But I'm going to click down here. And now I'm going to quickly go back to, it tells you in the slide here what you want to enter. And so I'm going to just because of this, because of time, I'm just going to just click there, and I've copied it, and I'm just going to paste it in. Okay. So I'm going to go back here and take this quotes out. So we have there, so that's looking good there. And so we just move that as well to make sure that's centered. So that's looking good there. So we want to title this as concept. Title this later as concept. I'm sorry, my caps lock is still on. Take the caps lock off. Oh. Concept there. Okay. So again, we're going to double click out here to bring in our layer styles. And now we want to choose the drop shadow. So all these things look good. So click OK there. So the next thing we want to do is we want to go back and select the shine layer, and we want to create a layer mask. So we're going to create a layer mask there. We're going to choose the paintbrush tool. Make sure that your foreground is set to black here. Okay. And you're going to choose a large paintbrush size. That's like mine says 600. What we're going to do is we're going to kind of take out the bottom of the shine layer. Okay. Make sure your shine layer is selected there so we don't affect any other layers. So you just want to click here and you just want to take out the bottom of this. So you can see there, I just took those out a little bit. Okay. So you can see that it's kind of fading out when the layers come down to the hills. Okay. Or the mountains here, right next to the hotel. And then we want to, now we've done that, we want to double click and open up this layer styles again, and we want to make sure our layer mask hides effects box is checked. So you can see there it changed that to where the outer glow is not filled in the middle. Click OK there. So then we have this interesting looking advertisement where we've taken out the unsightly buildings. We've created this shine kind of like text layer that's kind of blending into the a hotel here. Okay. So then you're going to choose File, Save As. You're going to save it to your home folder and then upload it to Edmodo. Okay? Make sure this is set to Photoshop because you need to turn in a Photoshop file. Okay, and turn it into this Stanley Hotel assignment on Edmodo. Thanks for watching.